awareness or pure consciousness. I use all those kind of interchangeably as the same sort of essence of aware being. It's already radically free. There's nothing that needs to happen for awareness to already be radically free of all of this, of all conditions.
Yeah.
Can you see that
Well,
you're already this?
what you're just describing is pretty clear. Um, wh- but there's other things that are not as clear. For example, when during that trip, and also that's still here, obviously. But I mean, that's still I can still feel it and connect to it, sense into it. So it didn't. I mean, it was super clear in that on that day. So that clarity is reduced, but it's not gone. But what wasn't clear or seen really or not experienced was this like no self. I can't say that there was some can't really say that I was really like very much that the experience was going through me or that there was a large sense of self, but there wasn't like a oh, there's no self. So maybe
Hmm.
that's again that maybe waiting for something to happen, even though if I think back about on the experience, yeah, I mean, it was the experience was really direct. So where was the sense of self in there? It was very, very flimsy. It was very thin. And another thing, for example, when people say, yeah, nothing is happening, that's also still a little bit, I saw into that a little bit, but that's also not 100% clear yet.
Yeah, that kind of happens on its own too. Like that isn't something that we need to jump to. Like there's a lot of like, especially like the Neo Advaita, like the Tony Parsons, the Jim Newmans, they kind of jump to this absolute space. And I believe that they really are in this absolute space. But I think, and I don't really know their awakening stories, but it seems to me that people that often just speak like that have had a very sudden awakening in which they can't really connect their perceived apparent reality with the non-dual absolute reality. So there's this like, people are always asking them questions like, what about this? What about this? And they will constantly reaffirm that that doesn't exist. Like there's nothing you can do. There's nothing happening. And although that's
Yes.
true from the absolute perspective, that doesn't provide a doorway for people into this. And
No, I
and so
agree.
it's not really helpful. Like we don't need to talk like this. We don't need to talk as if nothing exists and nothing is real and everything's an illusion. It
Gangaji said this once very beautifully. She said, like, if there is seeing, if there is clear seeing through a person, what a gift it is for that person to speak to other people and say, hey, look this way, look here.
Hmm.
Um, and so I thought that was such a beautiful response to criticism towards teachings because
Hmm.
yeah, it's like yeah, what that is grace as well.
Totally.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Like there's these felt sensations, of course, in the body because the body is going through a very visceral experience because it itself is a thought form, and so it itself needs to explode apart and it completely dissolve into this absolute space. But if you're taking the standpoint of your true and ultimate nature as pure awareness, it's already that. And so nothing actually happens, which is why the sort of Jim Parsons and or no, Jim Newman and Tony Parsons,
Tony Parsons, yeah.
yeah, it's why you can recognize that what they're saying is ultimately true because nothing changed. Nothing then happened. You were just the pure radiance that before, during, and after that experience, nothing changed for your ultimate nature.
Hmm. Yeah.
And so it's totally fine. And it's most people's experience that there is a body identification here. And so when we have these sort of experiences, you feel the body identification itself exploding apart, which is why it feels intense, which is why it feels like an energy uh exploding.
Yeah. Yeah.
because you're taking, you know, the absolute can take any sort of perspective. And in that experience, it was taking the perspective of the body mind,
Mm.
becoming the absolute, which is a wild experience.
Yes. Yeah, that's very cool. Yeah.